I get confused with vectors. Me too sometimes. This vector notation is weird. Look at these angular brackets. Oh my gosh, what's happening? Consider the following vectors. What is y plus z? Well, we kind of do addition similar to matrices. We're going to add component by component. So we're going to take the first component of y, the first component of z, and then we'll go ahead and we'll add the second components afterwards. So negative 12 plus 6 should get us up to negative 6, and then 11 plus 5 should get us up to 16. So that'll be our vector addition for the first example. In the second example, it's asking us to find the magnitude or the length and the magnitude or length can be thought of in terms of the Pythagorean theorem. So if I have some kind of vector, let's call it vector v, it comes as two components. It comes with a component that runs along the x-axis and a component that runs along the y-axis. And Pythagoras' theorem, because this is a right-angled triangle, should give us the length of the vector. So the length of the vector should be the square root of the first component of v, which is 8. We want to square that first component, so we get 8 squared, and then squaring the second component gives us negative 6 squared. Does this come out to be a Pythagorean triple? This is 64 plus 36. Is that 100? So the magnitude of this vector should be 10. Oh my gosh, what is question 3 asking? Suppose the equation ax plus by equals c corresponds to the vector abc. To what equation will 3 minus 1, 4 correspond to? I suppose that would be 3x minus y is equal to 4. Similarly, I guess this one would be negative 5x plus 3y is equal to negative 1. To what equation should this one correspond to? Oh, I see. We're just going to add up the two equations. So 3 take away 5 is negative 2. We have negative 1 plus 3, so that should be plus 2y, I believe. And then 4 take away 1 is 3. And if we add component by component, what do we get? 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Negative 1 plus 3, so 3 minus 1 is positive 2. And 4 take away 1 is 3. Look at that. Oh man, that's kind of nice. That's cute. Draw the vector 4, 1 in standard position with its tail at the origin. Draw the vector v 4, 1 with its tip at the tail, or with its tail at the tip of u. Compute u plus v. Let's draw it first. So we need 4 and 1 for vector u. So vector u is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 over and 1 up. So this should be vector u. And then we need 4 over 1 up with its tail at the tip of u. So 4 over 1 up would get us over here. So that's vector v. Well, this vector is vector v. Wouldn't the new vector just be 8, 2? Isn't it just 8 and 2? Because I'm going over 8 in this direction. There's 8 here, and then we're going up by 2, so it should just be 8, 2. That's vector u plus v. That makes sense to me. That makes sense. To draw a vector, okay, I know we don't need to. So the graph of u is shown below. Graph 2u. Wouldn't that just be twice as big? So we go negative 1 up 2, so we go negative 1 up 2, so we should just increase to here. So this vector should be 2u. So all the way from the origin up to the point negative 2, 4. The graph of v is shown. Graph negative v. So this is negative 10 and negative 2, so we need to go 10 and 2. 10 and 2, my friends, 10 and 2. Who remembers getting their driver's license in Canada? Keep your hands on 10 and 2. Graph 2u with its tail at the origin. I believe that was -4. Was it -4? No. It was -2 and +4. So -2 and +4. So this is 2u. Then complete the triangle.
Zetterborn, what's your point?
Complete the triangle geometry of 2u minus v by graphing -v and 2u minus v with the appropriate tail-to-tip relationships. So -v looks like this. It goes to the right by 10 units and up 2 units. So we need to go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and up 2. So there is -v, and we know that when we add vectors together, so 2u plus -v, we should be able to just form a closed triangle starting at the origin. So we're going to start here at the origin. We're going to head over to where our -v landed. So this vector here should be 2u minus v. Use a dot product to determine if the vectors are perpendicular or not. Are these vectors perpendicular? Dot product is we add the multiplication of components. So 7 times 4 is 28, and then we add to that 2 times 1, and then we add to that 1 times 5. So I think the dot product here is 35. 35, does that sound right? 28 and 7. The vectors are not, if that's the case, they are not orthogonal. These ones look like they might come out to be orthogonal because we would get 4 plus 4 minus 8, which is equal to 0. And the vectors in this case would be orthogonal. So remember here, dot product, if the dot product is 0, these vectors meet at a 90-degree angle, but if the dot product's not 0, then they meet at some other angle defined by the cosine relationship between these vectors. Compute the dot product of these two vectors. So this is going to be -50 plus 28 plus 9 minus 14. I don't think that's 0. -50 plus 28 plus 9 minus 14 is -27. Oh, here we go. So question 8 does actually ask us to find the angle between the vectors. So in this case, we can use the cosine formula. The cosine of the angle between the vectors, I believe, is the dot product divided by the magnitudes, if I remember correctly. And then once we know that information, we can use cosine inverse to make kind of an educated guess. But cosine of theta, this is probably why I should take mechanics, because don't you study vectors a bit more? I should know a little bit about this, but let's see. So -48 minus 72 minus 48. So we get -168. What's the magnitude of our first vector? So 36 plus 64 plus 64 is 164. And then we have 64 plus 81 plus 36, so 181. Now, does this fraction simplify is the first question. Does it simplify to something reasonably nice that's going to be easy for us to calculate theta? Let's see, -168 over root 164. And then we need another square root of 181. That doesn't look like it simplifies super nicely. So we get a very terrible number here, like negative, I am in radian, so that's good. I think we can just now take the inverse cosine of this, right? I think we just take the inverse cosine of their answer, And this should give us roughly theta. That's going to be our angle in radians. So we're at about 2.92 radians. I don't know if we can use decimals here, but this isn't a very nice number simplified, so I don't think we're going to get a really nice output here in terms of radians. Oh no, write all answers with radicals and or fractions. No, find the magnitude or norm of u. 36. Well, let's just actually write it out. So the magnitude of u is -6 squared plus 1 squared. So this should be 36 plus 1, which is root 37. Radical, man.
Sometimes you need something more exciting. Radical!
There you go, Jeff, just for you. Find a unit vector in the direction of u. Sure. If we take u and we divide by the magnitude, we should get a unit vector, right? So -6 over root 37, and then 1 over root 37 should do the trick. Find the magnitude or norm of v. So same story here. Let's go ahead and square our component. So -3 squared plus 4 squared plus 0 squared. That should give us 9 plus 16, which I believe is 25. So the norm of v is 5, and if we want to find a unit vector in the direction of v, we should divide these components by 5. And finally, find the magnitude or norm of w. This one's going to be a big boy, isn't it? 6, 1, 5, and 3. So the magnitude of w would be 6 squared plus 1 squared plus 5 squared plus 3 squared. What is that number? 36. Geez, 36 plus 1 plus 25 plus 9. The square root of 71.
And every xn lies in the other or the one, but kid, you'll never believe what this division has done. You see, if every xn lies in one of these, dude, then in one or the other an infinite, dude. Well, are you down with that?
We're down with that.
Yo, are you down with that?
We're down with that.
Wow, I'm so happy. I'm so happy, Zach, that you were here for that random sound clip. Okay, let's finish this up so I can potentially help out with the creaming of the St. Bernard. Yeah, so he ended up getting a sore on his tail. He has to take medication. And then
But lately our relations not so well defined, and I just can't
Chat.
function
I
without
see you found the
you.
random command. I see you found the random command, chat.